All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 2024 is here, and it is time to get back on this wagon train to love. So, welcome back, and I'll be doing a little bit longer video than normal this time, so that you can kind of catch you up. So this is our catch up video. 2023 has gone away. So let's talk. None of this was unexpected. None of this was strange. Nothing was weird. In fact, it was quite the opposite. Here's the good news. The good news is that the pattern that we identified back in 2019 and 2020 is accurate and true, and it's holding up. And I'm going to show you all that here today on this welcome back video. But the bottom line is that we didn't have much to say. You probably noticed that a whole bunch of people that have content went quiet during 2023. Now, if you've been paying attention, you'll know why, and that is because of the pattern. I would say that 10 or 20% of the people have ever had anything to do with crypto, but less than 10% are consistent. And I would say out of those people, maybe more than half are probably just institutions that hold some Bitcoin. So you're probably looking at maybe less than 5% of the population that knows the general information. Of those people, you probably have just a few percentage points that really know what's going on, that know this macro pattern. Now, stop right there. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you don't know about crypto, you don't know how to set up accounts, you don't know macro patterns, I have dozens upon dozens upon dozens of videos. Probably, I don't know if it's 50 or 100, but there are so many videos. They cover every subject. They cover it in depth, how to set up your accounts, how to be sure that you are secure, how to analyze charts. I mean, I have hundreds of hours of materials. I've been doing this now for 5 years, online for 4. There are so much material on there that it's going to shock you. So take your time and work your way back through those videos if you have any questions. What you'll discover is that we identified a macro pattern involving Bitcoin, and that macro pattern has been lasting the entire history of Bitcoin, which is 13, 14 years. And the reason that I'm on here today is because we are back on what's called a halving. We're inside of 20. Basically, we're 90 days, give or take, out from the halving. The halving's this massive event, and I will take some time to explain it. Although I have other videos, please go back and look at all of them. Plenty of videos to explain all that. But let me just hit it really, really quick. Bitcoin is designed based around the concept of gold. First of all, you cannot change it. You cannot change how much there is. There's a set amount. Because there's a set amount, we mine it. When we mine the gold, it's always been considered a presentation of value, something of worth in the history of the world. And as we mine it, it gets harder and harder to mine, and the value continues to go up. And this is what Bitcoin is. It's the electronic, immutable, blockchain secured truth and internet version of gold. Now, because of that, to represent the mining becoming harder over time, every approximately 4 years, it's like 210,000 blocks for the blockchain that are mined. There's going to be what's called a halving, where the reward you get is halved. Right now, it's a little over 6 Bitcoin. In May of 2024, it'll become a little over 3 Bitcoin. And of course, the value goes up the entire time. And just so you know, this isn't a game, and it isn't something like gambling. If you're smart, nobody has ever owned Bitcoin in the history of Bitcoin and held it for longer than 3 or 4 years and ever lost money. Not once, not ever. In addition, the blockchain has a 0% error rate, not like your local bank with 2 to 5% error, a 0% error rate. It's worldwide. It goes over borders. It's truthful. And it's very, very special. If you don't know much about blockchain or the technicalities or Bitcoin or the other coin or the other blockchains such as Ethereum or Cardano or any of the other projects like my baby Avalanche, if you don't know anything about any of this stuff, I urge you to go back and watch videos. I have so many videos. But the bottom line is, whenever there's a halving coming, there starts to be more interest. Now, you may have already noticed this. You may have noticed that some of those online contributors have begun to start up again. You may have noticed that people have begun talking about it again. And, of course, the most recent amazing news being that Congress and the SEC have approved ETFs, which is sort of like saying mutual funds, involving Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. So we have more adoption, we have more attention, and this is all happening right before the halving, and that is normal. Let me show you. I'll go out here to the screen, and let me show you this chart here. Let me just drop out of this and get over here to this. We'll just go to CoinMarketCap real quick. Okay, take a look at this. So this is exactly what I've been talking about, and this is the pattern that we're in, and you'll see what's happening. So let's just go back. Let's take a little journey, shall we? Now, I don't know if you guys remember all of this, but just so you don't think I'm just a nutburger, do you guys remember this? This is when I took every month of Bitcoin ever and computerized it, gave it values, tracked all the numbers, tracked all the evaluations and the what a Bitcoin was worth, and tracked all these patterns. You see all this? You remember all this? If you don't know what I'm doing or what all this stuff is or what all these crazy numbers are, this is me creating spreadsheets. It's me creating math to track it all. This is how we figured out the pattern. Okay? So I'll just give you an example. The halving is every 4 years, right? So let's just go back. Let's just go back to 16. So this is 2016 on your screen here. And you can see that in July of 2016, there was a halving. As we led up to the halving, things were going fine. If you go back before that, you'll know that they were lower. You see they were lower. Then they come up. See, there's the all-time high. You see there's a pattern here. All-time high falls at the year after the year of the halving. So you see this? This is your halving for 2016. If you go up here, you'll notice that there's an all-time high falls at 2013. Why? Because 2012 was a halving. Every 4 years. So the halvings have been 2012, 2016, 2020, and 2024. Are you with me? Okay. You see the halving? The halving that happens back here. So look at this. This is the 2012 halving. You'll notice that Bitcoin was worth about $10, and man, we wish it was we could get it for that now. Anybody who's in Bitcoin back there and holds tight is multi-millionaires. Some of them are billionaires. Okay, halving. You'll notice that it immediately starts to climb. Okay, and all the way from $10 all the way up to close to 1,000. This is the all-time high. This is the 12th month, December of 2013. The year after, at the end, is when it happens. You with me? Here we go. Moving forward, there's 2014, there's 2015. Now here we are on 2016. As you see, we're pretty low in 2015. Couple $100 starts to creep up, Here's the halving. Okay? Halving falls here in July of 2016. You'll notice that immediately there begins to be more interest. See this numbers? These are all dollars. At the halving, it's 676. Then it starts to creep up, and you'll notice that it goes up, until we reach the all-time high at the end of 2017. and the beginning of 2018, and we've got a $13,000 Bitcoin. It's average across the whole month, so you would have been able to cash out for probably 15 grand at some point in this cycle. But anyway, that's the whole point. There's a pattern we identified. Are you with me? Here we are in 2018, and you'll notice the numbers are all being tracked, and here we are in 2019 and 2020. So here's the halving in 2020. If you go back before it, whoa, hold on, sorry. Get back to my stuff. If you're in 2020 and your halving's in May, you'll notice that there's some fluctuations, but there's increases going on. People are beginning to pay more attention, you see? So back here, in between at the lows, we're in the 3,000s, okay? Then as we fluctuate throughout the following year, but as we get closer and closer, there starts to be more and more numbers. Now look what happens. The halving. It's 8,700 a Bitcoin when the halving happens in May of 2020. Then boom, 9. Now here it comes. Here it comes. 11s, 10s. These are averages across a month, remember. Okay? 18, 29, 33, 49, all the way up to our all-time high here. We had a big hit a year later in May of 21, and then our all-time high currently stands, and it's around 68. You could have cashed out for 68 or 70 in November, December of 2021. It tracks all the numbers all the time, and you can see I've done all that and all these things. So that's the pattern, okay? And so the reason you're starting to see people talking about Bitcoin again right now, right? The reason you're seeing that currently is because this is exactly what's happening. The halving is not exactly determined, but as you get closer, it gets easier. Now here's why. The speed of producing the blocks of information for the blockchain. These blocks are completely confirmed worldwide by hundreds of thousands of servers and hundreds of thousands of crazy computer geeks worldwide because they're fighting for the reward. The way a Bitcoin is produced is the reward for mining the most accurate, fastest block for the blockchain. If you succeed in that mission, then you become the one, and you get your 6 Bitcoin, which is currently $250,000. So today, right now, if you were mining and you mined the fastest and most accurate block, you would receive $250,000. So people are making $250,000 in a day, every other day, that are miners. That's why you heard so much information over the years about mining. Now, the other blockchains, Ethereum and everybody else, work a little differently, but this is how Bitcoin works. And Bitcoin is the leader. It's number one. It's the OG. It began everything. It tracks. Everything tracks with it. When it goes up, everything goes up. When it goes down, everything goes down. So we track all of that, right? There are some mild exceptions. People have tried to develop things that kind of are the opposite, but really, in general, when it goes up, everything goes up. So here we are. In May, this is January, of course, of 2024. Last year there was nothing to say. The second year after the all-time high, the year before the halving, is just flat. There's some little variations like this, and that's it. It's just flat. And 2023 was like that. It was nothing interesting. But you'll notice that as we get to the end of 2023, interest rekindles. Okay? So this entire pattern is real. So let's go back to our screen, and I'm just going to take you over to CoinMarketCap so you can see what I'm talking about. Over here on CoinMarketCap, you'll notice that here's the chart. Now, I got all. Okay, I don't know if you know how these things work. They're pretty easy, but you can select all. As you can see, this shows those halvings. Okay, it shows the year after the halvings. Okay, that's what this shows. When was the halving? 2018. When's the spike? When the spike? 2019. Right? When's the halving? 2020. 2016. Sorry. Here's the year after 2016. Bada bing. There's the high. Okay, that's how this works. Okay, here is 2021, and the all-time high right here is coming in right here. You see at the end of 2021. Now, immediately 2022 drops. Boom. Into the dumper. This is a trough of magnanimous proportions that has to do with the first quarter of 22. Then it teases you right here. This is a tease, then boom, into the dumper again. Okay, so unlike most people believe, where this is random and it's going up and down all the time, it's absolutely not like that at all. It's in a month or a couple months, there seems to be variations. If you're not studying the macro pattern, if you don't know this stuff, then it'll appear to be going up and down dramatically all the time. It's just not true. This is the height of the negative, or the bottom of the pit. For a while there, in at the very end of 22 and beginning of 23, which is the all-time low, falls at the end of the year following the all-time high. So the pattern is ramp up leading to a halving, start climbing immediately around the halving, climb all the way for a year and a half. At the end of the year following the halving, the fourth quarter is always when the big action happens, right? Could spill over into the first month of the following year, but in general, it's the fourth quarter of the year after the halving. So at least a year and a half after the halving is when the all-time high occurs. This is the fourth time that's happened, okay? All-time high occurs the end of the year after the halving. Then immediately drops off within months of that all-time high. It's crashing, and the reason is everybody's selling. They've reached an all-time high, and interest begins to wane immediately as people begin to lose money that aren't paying attention. The people that aren't paying attention begin to lose money. And then you go for the year between the all-time low and the halving again. It's a 4 to 5 year pattern, right? You begin to have just like flat, and 2023 is flat. So you can see our biggest bottom is in late 22. Then all through 2023 we're flat. We're flat in the 20s all through 20. And there's a like up and down occasionally, right? It's just flirting with you, telling you it's alive. This is literally a few months ago, 26,000, right? So what on earth is happening when we go from October to 26,000? So you're talking about a third quarter and a beginning of a fourth quarter where it's still in the 20s, and all of a sudden, boom, right? Here we are in the 40s. What happened? And that is everybody getting ready. What is that? That is December, January of turning into 2024, which is the year that we're going to have the halving, and now it goes up. It's been as high as 46 in the last month. It is 42.9 today, so $43,000 Bitcoin currently, all because of this pattern. So you see it. You can track it yourself. If you go to the year, look, here it is all through 2023, just down at the bottom, blah, blah, blah. It's so flat. It's all flat, right? And then here it goes, climbing, right? That's the 1 year, right? The 1 month is here, right? Where we're going up. We're starting to climb up, right? 7 days, it's dipped a little, right? Because we're not there yet. People are coming and going, trying to figure out what's going on. But my dear listener and follower, and by the way, if you haven't liked and followed yet, please do so. But you know that there's a pattern. You know that this stuff right here exists. That somebody has gone through every month and pulled apart every piece of data and assigned mathematical equations to every piece of data to analyze exactly what's happening. And we know exactly what's going to happen. Now, there's been a halving in 2020, a halving in 2016, a halving in 2012. This is the fourth halving. So it's the fourth time this pattern has repeated. Is any of this automatic and completely irrevocable? Of course not, my friends. Of course not. This is crypto. That means craziness happens all the time, okay? But we have this pattern, and we have this knowledge, and we have this ability to understand what's going on. So it is extremely likely that we stay in this pattern. What does this pattern mean? This pattern means that we will continue to see a rise all through 24. We'll get back up to all-time highs, 60s. Now, here's the next big hit. For the middle and the end of 2025, we're going to see those peaks, right? The highest of the high. It'll drop off again for 26, flatten out for 27, and then we're back again for 2028 for another halving, right? Okay, if it works exactly like the pattern again this time, then there's no reason for us not to all be triple-digit millionaires by the time we go through this 2 more times, right? So the point is, if you believe in this pattern, and like I said, I've done a lot of research, so I definitely do. But here's the thing. That's the reason. The halving's coming approximately May. You'll see interest, renewed interest. People will start talking about it. People begin putting out new products. This is why the SEC has gotten on to the ETFs. This is why people have begun talking about all kinds of amazing things. For instance, most of the major investment firms, J.P. Morgan being the big one, have started their own internal cryptocurrencies. They're tracking this whole thing. Multiple people involved in the government, involved in SEC, multiple people have discussed this openly in the last year. Lots of billionaires, lots of people. Tesla has started their coin. We just had a pre-release. So I'm in on that. We'll see what happens. But the bottom line of this whole thing, if the pattern works, all-time high is again at the end of 25. Now, are you too late? Did you miss the videos from 2020 and miss the fact in the middle of everything I said prepare for a drop and then suddenly it dropped to the floor? Did you miss the fact that all these things happen? Well, if you did, it's not too late right now. You just got to look for the biggest dips you can. But basically, making the big money would have been to buy it earlier. But anyway, here we go. We're on the way up. And now, of course, as you can hear, I've got to check my dogs. So that is part 1 of the new introduction, and we'll keep going. And thank you for playing.